Good morning. Good morning. Foreign Affairs Council today. We'll begin our discussions on, of course, continuing to look at the situation in Syria, our concern to try and push forward with a political process called by many as Geneva II, but the opportunity to try and find a way to stop the terrible crisis there. And a broader discussion too about our southern neighbourhood, where I'll be able to report back on my visits last week to Jordan, Lebanon, Iraq, Egypt and to the Middle East, where there'll be an opportunity as well to discuss the efforts of Secretary Kerry, which we're supporting fully, to try and make some progress on the Middle East peace process. I'll report as well on progress made between Serbia and Kosovo. The Prime Ministers were with me again last week. This will form a big part of the discussions tomorrow at the General Affairs Council, but important too for foreign ministers to have a chance to discuss. And I'm delighted that at lunchtime we'll be joined by Secretary General Rasmussen from NATO to talk about Afghanistan. Very important that we continue to look at a long-term strategy to support the country into the future. And we will as well be joined by Commissioner Hedegaard to discuss climate change, which, as many of you will be aware, is a really critical issue in terms of the work we do, with over 100 states at risk from the consequences of climate change, which is therefore an important element of foreign policy.
Baroness Ashton, two questions.
Lawrence first.
Lawrence.
Good morning.
Morning.
Do you expect and do you think that talks should go ahead with Turkey and the EU on Wednesday? And secondly, any progress in talks with Iran?
Well, you know my view on Turkey is very clear. I've always believed that Turkey's future lies with us, but that requires huge progress on all the work that needs to be done. And of course I've expressed my concern, as has my friend and colleague Stefan Fuller, about the situation. We will have to see how member states decide. It's in their hands. But my general view on everything is engagement is a much better option where you possibly can. Very rare circumstances where not engaging is the best option.
And on Iran?
On Iran, we'll have to see. I mean, we've heard from the government, from the statements they've made, that they want to wait. The President has said he wants to wait to have a new government in place before he moves forward. I'll be meeting with the political directors of the E3+3, P5+1 shortly. We're just putting that meeting together to now look at how we go forward. But I really hope that we might see some progress. We've put some good confidence-building measures on the table. When I last met with Dr. Jalili, I pointed out to him it was really important that we tried to make some progress now, and I really hope that that will happen, but I'll have to see.
Concerning the situation in Syria, we see a lack of motivation to go to Geneva, and we see that you are losing the common ground with Russia more and more.
Well, I think that's a statement of opinion. I think the discussions that we've had with President Putin, with Foreign Minister Lavrov recently, I believe that they understand the importance of trying to get a political process moving. You'll know that there are discussions this week led by the UN, by Lakhdar Brahimi, who we're fully supporting. Pierre Vimont went to see him in Egypt just before I was in Egypt, and then I was speaking with his team while I was there, the importance of trying to get this moving. In the end, you need a political process, full stop. You have to have that. The sooner we get to it, the better. And it's very, very important that people gather in order to achieve that as swiftly as possible. It's not easy, I appreciate that. But the bloodshed, the terror, the horror that is going on in that country needs to be stopped. And in the end, that's the only way we can stop it.
One more inside, Captain?
Yeah, thanks so much. Geneva I, as it's now become known, and the important part of that meeting was to try and find a way in which you could develop a process that gets the people to have the choice about their future. We've made clear for a long time that we do not believe Assad can be part of that, in the sense that he could not continue to be in any leadership role in his country. But it is for the different sides in this to bring forward people who can come and have a discussion about how to go forward. I think that Moaz Al-Khatib has been very clear in the kind of way he would like to approach that. And I think there are some good discussions now taking place. For us, it's about backing that process 100%. The EU will be a strong partner in the process and will be a strong partner for the people of Syria long into the future, because this country will need to be rebuilt.
You are going also to discuss the Middle East peace process. How strong are you going also intending to support Mr. Kerry's approach?
I'm completely supporting John Kerry's efforts. I spoke with him again at the end of last week. I was in the region, as you know, last week. And I'm very clear that he is thinking very hard about how to put forward his proposals. He will tell us all about them when he's ready to do so. And I think it's very important that if he comes up with something, that we all back him to do it. I was heartened by what I heard in my discussions in Ramallah and in Jerusalem, in the sense that I think it's a really good moment to try and do this. And I wish him every possible success, and I'll be there with him to help him.
Thanks,
Thanks a
Meredith.
lot.
Thanks.